Mornings in Preston Hollow were always quiet. Elizabeth Montgomery was taking care of her roses, one hand gently resting on her pregnant belly. The Texas sun was already hot, and she wiped sweat from her forehead as she looked up. All around her, fancy SUVs rolled out of garages as the day began. "John, we're going to be parents soon," she whispered to her late husband. Talking to him every morning had become part of her routine since he died in a car accident 6 months ago. Elizabeth had been a successful real estate agent in this rich neighborhood. After John's death, she moved back to Dallas to be near her family and find peace. Now, she was one of the top agents in the area, trusted by wealthy clients. Church bells rang in the distance. It was 8 a.m. She packed up her gardening tools while planning her busy day, 3 house viewings and some paperwork. Even at 8 months pregnant, she stayed committed to her work. Just then, her mother Helen showed up, dressed in fancy tennis clothes. "Gardening again? At your age and in your condition? That's a waste of time." "But Mom, the doctor said it's good to stay active. Think about how it looks. A pregnant woman getting dirty in public. It's not good for our image, especially in Highland Park." Helen walked off, carrying her golf bag. Elizabeth sighed. Even though she lived close to her family now, she still felt distant from them. Her sister Ashley arrived, perfectly styled and holding a trendy handbag. She worked as a news anchor and was considered the pride of the family. "Sis, watch the news tonight. I'm the main anchor for a special segment." "What's it about?" "New tourist spots in Dallas. I helped film it. It should get great ratings." Ashley was already focused on her phone, probably posting on social media. She had lots of followers and loved the attention. When Elizabeth had told her family she was pregnant, they hadn't reacted warmly. Her mother had called her a single mother, like it was something shameful. Elizabeth could still hear the words, "A disgrace to the Montgomery family." Ashley said, "Congrats," but her smile didn't reach her eyes. Later, Elizabeth overheard her saying, "I could never raise a child, it's too hard." Elizabeth touched her belly gently. The baby was due in a month. Other women she met in her maternity class talked about how supportive their families were, how their moms or sisters helped them, but Elizabeth had no one. At her last checkup, the doctor had asked, "Do you have family support?" All she could do was smile. "We'll get through this together," she whispered to her baby. Even if she was alone, she would keep going. Under the hot sun, her roses bloomed brightly. Late at night, a sharp pain woke Elizabeth. She curled up on her bed. It was 2 a.m. She still had 2 weeks until her due date, but the pain told her this was real labor. She breathed heavily, trying to stay calm. The quiet streets outside were empty. She started the timer on her phone to track the contractions. They were real, and getting stronger. Should she call an ambulance? But her insurance might not cover it. The hospital had warned her about the high cost. She looked at a photo of John by her bed. "John, what should I do?" she whispered, crying. If he were here, he'd already be driving her to the hospital. She took a deep breath and called her mother. The phone rang several times. Loud music and laughter played in the background when her mother finally picked up. "Hello?" Her mom sounded half asleep, or drunk. "Mom, I'm having contractions. Please take me to the hospital." There was a pause. "I can't. We're at Ashley's birthday party." Her mother sounded annoyed. She was surrounded by people, clinking glasses and celebrating. "But I'm scared," Elizabeth said, another wave of pain hitting her. "Call an ambulance. We're busy right now." "Please, Mom. It's Ashley's 29th birthday. Important people are here. You understand, right?" Elizabeth could hear laughter and a champagne cork popping. Her mom continued, "Maybe it's because you've been careless. You work too much. I warned you." Tears filled Elizabeth's eyes as the pain grew stronger. "Let me talk to Ashley." Her mom sighed. "Fine, but make it quick." Ashley came on the phone, her voice excited. "Sis, the party's amazing. DNBC executives are here. They're talking about my future." "Ashley, I need to go to the hospital. Please. Don't ruin my night, okay? They might announce my promotion. You're always stealing the spotlight." Then the call ended. Elizabeth sat in the dark, stunned. Her contractions were now 4 minutes apart. Her phone was wet with sweat and tears. Taxis were hard to find at night, but she opened the Uber app. The price was high, but she had no choice. "I have to get ready, baby, hang on." She stood up and checked her hospital bag, insurance card, clothes. towels, charger, some cash, and a photo of her and John. As she walked to the front door, she passed a family photo on the wall. Her mom and sister smiled proudly. She stood off to the side. A contraction hit again, now 3 minutes apart. She leaned on the wall, breathing through the pain. Her phone buzzed. Uber would arrive in 5 minutes. Elizabeth opened the door. At Baylor University Medical Center, morning was starting to break. A nurse named Maria Rodriguez gently held Elizabeth's hand. "You made it. Good job coming on your own." Elizabeth smiled weakly. The Uber driver had even helped her into a wheelchair. "The baby is doing great, now breathe deeply." Elizabeth focused on her breathing as Maria prepared for delivery. "Did you contact your family?" "Yes, but," Elizabeth said quietly. Maria seemed to understand. "Let's just focus on your baby now." The clock showed 4 a.m. The sky outside was just starting to lighten. Between contractions, Elizabeth chatted with Maria, trying to stay strong. The nurse's kind words helped calm Elizabeth's nerves. "I raised 3 kids while working here," said Maria, checking test results. "Being a single mom is hard, but you can do it. You're strong." At 7 a.m., nurses from the next shift arrived. A young nurse named Sarah Johnson came in and smiled kindly. "You'll meet your baby soon." Elizabeth's contractions were now intense. She cried out in pain, sweating heavily. Her hair was messy, makeup gone, but she kept pushing with all her strength. "Mom," she whispered, surprised to hear herself say it. She longed for her mother to be there. "I see the baby's head, just a little more," said the doctor. Then came the sound of a newborn's cry. "It's a girl, a very healthy baby." At 8:17 a.m., Elizabeth gave birth to her daughter, Emma Grace Montgomery, a small baby weighing 6 pounds. As soon as Elizabeth held her, tears ran down her cheeks. Emma quieted quickly, as if to comfort her. "Congratulations," Maria whispered, wiping her eyes. In 20 years as a nurse, she had rarely felt so moved. Later, in the recovery room, Elizabeth looked at her phone. The room was quiet, and Emma slept peacefully in the nursery. She saw her sister's Instagram post, a photo of Ashley raising a champagne glass at a fancy restaurant, surrounded by their mother and wealthy guests. It was posted at 3 a.m., the same time Elizabeth was in labor. Sighing deeply, Elizabeth opened Facebook and wrote, "On August 15, 2024, at 8:17 a.m., my daughter Emma Grace was born. I gave birth alone, but the hospital staff were amazing. We are both healthy." She posted a photo of herself holding Emma in a chair by the window. The couch behind her was empty. The room looked quiet and peaceful. Within 5 minutes, the post got many likes and comments. Elizabeth turned off her phone and looked through the nursery window at Emma, who was sleeping soundly. Just then, Maria came in, with Jennifer Walker, a well-known reporter. "Miss Montgomery, may I talk to you?" Jennifer asked, her voice serious. "This isn't just a family issue." Jennifer sat down and spoke in a low voice. Her instincts as a reporter told her something about this story was unusual. "We've received some information about your sister's party," she said. Elizabeth frowned. Emma had just woken up and was brought in for feeding. She nursed quietly at her mother's breast. "It wasn't just a birthday party," Jennifer continued, showing an email from someone calling themselves DNBC Insider. "Last night's party was to secretly announce that Ashley would be the new main anchor at DNBC." She paused, then said, "But the appointment wasn't fair. Your mother used her influence to make it happen." Elizabeth's heart sank. Emma made a soft, unhappy sound. "But Ashley's talented," Elizabeth began. "She is," Jennifer agreed, but there was another reporter, an award-winning woman, who was a strong candidate. She was planning a feature about working mothers, but your mother made her look bad to sponsors, calling her a woman who didn't care about her family. Instead, they chose your unmarried sister to protect the image of traditional values." Jennifer showed more evidence, emails and meeting notes. "Everything was planned. They even ignored your delivery to hold that party." Just then, the hospital door burst open. Elizabeth, her mother Helen stormed in. Her suit was wrinkled, makeup smeared. Ashley followed, still in her party dress. "Take that post down," Helen shouted. "Sis, please, you're ruining my career," Ashley cried. Emma started crying. Nurse Maria stepped in. "Please be quiet," she said firmly. We're her family, Helen snapped. That's why you need to be quiet. Think of the baby, Maria replied. Helen glared at her. You wouldn't understand, you're just a Hispanic nurse. Mother, Elizabeth's voice rang out, holding Emma close. She faced her mother. That's enough. We were only thinking of your future. No, said Jennifer, we have the proof, emails, sponsor deals, recordings. Last night, someone even called Elizabeth a single mother who brings shame to the family. It was recorded. Helen turned pale. Ashley leaned against the wall, devastated. My career. Jennifer continued calmly. The station director will be interviewed about all this. Outside, 2 security guards appeared. Maria had called them. Ladies, please leave, one said politely. Helen looked at her daughter. You're betraying us. No, Elizabeth said, looking at Emma. I'm doing what's right, for my child. The room fell quiet after they left. Emma was already asleep. That was brave, Jennifer smiled. I'll begin writing the article. It could inspire working mothers everywhere. The Texas sun shone through the window, bright and warm, like the truth lighting up the darkness. I'll help with your story, Elizabeth said softly, but with strength. Maria gently placed a hand on her shoulder. Her warmth felt like a blessing. Truth can hurt, but real happiness lies beyond it. Elizabeth believed that now. 1 year later, in a garden in the Preston Hollow district, Emma smiled brightly on her first birthday. She took small steps while people clapped and cheered. She's such a sweet child, said Maria, holding a homemade cake. She had become like family. It's all thanks to you, Elizabeth said, smiling. Her life had changed. Jennifer's article, Divided Families, the conflict between modern motherhood and tradition, won a major journalism award and spread nationwide. Ashley lost her anchor job. Instead, the network promoted the veteran reporter who had stood up for working mothers. Ratings improved. Here are the property documents, said a real estate agent. Elizabeth's business was thriving. She focused on family-friendly homes for working mothers, and her clients loved it. On the lawn, Emma played with other children. Many were her mother's clients' kids. Elizabeth's office had become a supportive space for working moms. Elizabeth, a quiet voice said. It was her mother, Helen, standing at the garden's edge. She no longer looked powerful. She handed Elizabeth a small box. It was a pearl necklace passed down in their family. My life was built on appearances, Helen said, voice shaking, but you have true strength. There was a long pause. Emma, come here, Elizabeth called. Her daughter waddled over. Tears filled Helen's eyes. This is your grandmother, Elizabeth said. Emma reached out. Helen knelt and hugged her for the first time. Ashley now worked at a local station, hosting a weekend show. She had even started promoting programs for working women. Time changes everything, said Jennifer, standing nearby, but change can be good. At the end of the party, it was time for a birthday photo. Elizabeth and Emma posed among the roses. As the flash went off, Emma kissed her mother's cheek. The guests cheered. That photo was later hung in Elizabeth's office. Visitors often said it brought them peace. Next to it was another photo, Emma wearing the pearl necklace. It was a symbol of new beginnings and love passed down from one generation to the next. A new kind of family. Not perfect, but full of real love. Elizabeth looked up at the sky, holding Emma in her arms. John, we're happy. The Texas sunset glowed warmly. Tomorrow would be a new day. And their story would go on.